Hi, I'm Christina McGovern, and I am the director of Ridley Drama Group. How we choose our shows and how we chose The Little Mermaid for our fall production of Ridley Drama Group. And the way that we do it is kind of a twofold process. Number one, we have to figure out what kids we have in the program already and what their strengths and talents are, and pick a show that's going to showcase their strengths and talents the best. And then the second part of that is that we have to pick a show that over 4 years of their experience helps to give them a new educational experience. The next step before you do anything is to get online and try and get the rights to the show. So The Little Mermaid is owned by Music Theater International, so we filled out an application and said, are we allowed to do this show? And they sent it back to us, and then we pay them a bunch of money, thousands of dollars in rights and rentals. And once you get the rights for that, then we start the research process. All right, so I get on this little iPad or computer. Sometimes I have both open simultaneously, and I'm using both of them, and go and pull every version of the show that has ever existed that there is. It's all work that's called dramaturgy, and dramaturgy is where you research everything that has to do with your production so that you can make educated decisions on what you want to do and how you want to put it on. And we use our classes. Some of our classes do dramaturgy research. Our technical theater course that we taught this year, Intro to Stage Tech, did some dramaturgical stuff on the set. And then Play Performance does dramaturgy work on the different plays that they're doing. So we go on and we pull photographs, articles, blogs, anything that will give us information, not just about what we want to do, but what we don't want to do. And then we make this huge folder, and the folder becomes something that the staff and the crew all talk about over the whole process of the show. And then step 2 is design. We start drawing out like our dream list wish of everything that we could have if we had an unlimited amount of money and we could do whatever we wanted. And then we try to get as close to that as humanly possible in the real world that we live in. And the backdrop process is you decide what scenes can be taken care of with just a photographic backdrop that's getting painted behind it. And once you do that, you can make set pieces. And we draw all of our set pieces to scale on paper and then put them on foam core. You see our little foam core. And then we move them around and see if they're gonna work in our process ahead of time so that we don't go into the show and start rehearsal with no idea of how the set's gonna work. The costume process is different. The costume process, we decide what we want everything to look like, and then we go find what we need to make that the vision that we have. So we'll shop Goodwill, Joann Fabrics, lots of fabric stores all over the place. Any kind of thrift that there is, we'll go to those places and buy pieces and try to put them together. And then we enter into the process of making the design a reality, which involves just an enormous quantity of people that aren't, it's not just, I mean, it's me and an army of people. With it on, and like when you lose all your knives, you would just pull one out of your hat. Like it would just be like a huge cleaver. So parent volunteers come in and start sewing. We teach people how to sew when they come in. If they don't know how to, parent volunteers will go in and start building. The kids have to put in hours of technical work. They owe us 2 hours for the show, so they'll come at night to the technical nights and start putting everything together and painting and cutting things out and really making it all go. And it's an 8-week long process. It's 8 weeks really. Once you start building everything, it's 8 weeks, but the whole show process is months and months in the making. The audition process is a whole different little animal because it's about seeing what the kids can do in terms of their raw talent and their skill level at the time, and then trying to anticipate where in 8 weeks you'll be able to take people. So there's only so much that can be done at one time for any one person. There's only so much you can learn in that time period. So what happens is kids get their musical selections ahead of time, and they prepare that selection. They come in on the audition day and go into the chorus room, and everybody practices the selections together with the music directors, who then kind of go through and play all the notes and do all that stuff. And they learn it a little bit better maybe than they could have learned it on their own, even though they're familiar with it. And then everybody goes out in the hallway, and they all have a number on their audition forms, and we call people in one at a time. Alright, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know something's starting right now. Watch and you'll see. Someday I'll be part of your world. Nice. Thank you.
Alright, whenever you're ready.
And her voice is there as dusk is falling, and her voice is there as dawn steals by. Pure and bright, it's always near, all day, all night, and still I hear it calling. Her voice.
If it's a dance musical that has a lot of dance, there'll be an entire day just for dance, where people learn the dance on the spot that day and then come in and do it in small groups for the choreographer to see and score. And that helps us to know later, you know, who's going into the dance number and who isn't, who needs a little bit more work and who's pretty secure. And then we do a whole callback. And the callback is a long, involved process where multiple people sing and speak and dance with other people, and we kind of test the grouping, you know, of the cast. Because casting is like 65–70% of the show. If you get the right cast, then the rest of everything will fall in place. But if it's not cast well, then it's going to be a struggle in rehearsals for the whole 8 weeks, and there's only so much that you can do when that happens. So we try really, really hard to make sure that we make the best casting decisions right from the very beginning.
Congrats!
Thank you. Congratulations.
Mom, I got one of the Mercy sisters. Oh my god!
I'm James Clark, and I'm playing Prince Eric in The Little Mermaid.
Hi, I'm Laura Myers, and I played Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
I'm Blake, and I'm playing Ursula in The Little Mermaid.
Hi, I'm Vicky Hepburn, and I'm playing Aquata in The Little Mermaid.
I'm Ben Murgot, and I'm playing Chef Louie in The Little Mermaid.
I'm Jake Murgot, and I'm playing King Triton in The Little Mermaid. So I joined Ridley Drama Group way back in 2nd grade with my first show, A Christmas Carol, and I loved it so much. I love performing, and it was a great experience, and it still is today, so that's why I joined.
I joined RGG because I love performing in front of an audience, and I started back in 3rd grade. And it's just been a great time ever since, so I never stopped.
I started in Ridley Drama Group in 2nd grade. I did my first show, which was A Christmas Carol. I played Tiny Tim and just loved it and kept on going with it.
I joined Ridley Drama Group in 9th grade because I like to sing.
I joined Ridley Drama Group because any opportunity to perform is a good one.
I joined Ridley Drama Group because I love to perform, and I know that I want to make this a career someday. So I started when I was 10 years old, and I just want to continue.
Everybody always talks about Ridley Drama Group being like a family, and the reason that they do is because they spend an inordinate amount of time together. The rehearsal process is a little intense, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a long time for us to be together, but we have to be because the product that we want to create in 8 weeks is, I think a lot of people will tell you, it's a stellar product. We're not looking to do your average high school show. We want to do something better. So that takes a little bit more practice to do something better. So it starts out with music rehearsal. Everybody goes into vocal rehearsals, which are really, really heavy in the beginning of the show because we learn those songs. So for The Little Mermaid, we were in 3 days, you know, sometimes 4 days, depending on the first couple of weeks of vocal rehearsal. And then it branches out into different types of rehearsals. So there's blocking, staging, which is your stage movement where you are in the scene with other characters.
Says it all itself. And then we're going to, I'll sing you a song of the King of the Sea. Okay, this start. We're all going to turn in to James, right? Watch out from land, and right, tell him. Watch out from land, or you'll go to your ruin, mysterious fathoms below. Back to what you're doing. Go get it.
I'm holding by his feet.
Retrieve my cord.
You give you an opportunity to find your voice. And you're like, maybe this will make it go. Maybe this is how I do it, because so far you've been really unsuccessful. And how long you say it now? Your weeks? Right through weeks in Academy Award. So this is your last ditch effort. And then the second half of the song you spend trying to make him understand why it's so important.
Yeah.
Why are you out here for weeks? Why it's so important to find this one girl? Because this voice feels like this to me. It's not just a voice, and it's not just a girl, it's not just pretty. It evokes an emotion, and it makes me feel all of the best things in life, which is what's supposed to happen when you love someone.
There's dance, which gets done on Saturdays. We come in at 9 on Saturdays, and we're here sometimes in various groups all the way until 3 in the beginning, and then way later at the end.
How you like it so far?
It's good, but keep forgetting, but I'm gonna get it.
Right, going through the blocking, the dance, the vocal, and the learning process, you're at 5 to 6 weeks. But when you get to the 5th week, you have 3 weeks until you open the show, and then we go into something called piece through. And piece through is where we go from front to back, beginning of show to end of the show. We work through every single scene. We bring in our tech, our stage crew, and everybody's moving everything. We're starting to put costume pieces out there. We're starting to use all the props that are available now. We've built a bunch of stuff that can be used, and we're basically going back through the show and putting everything that's physical into the show.
Hi, I'm Emily,
And I'm Dylan.
and we're part of Stage Crew Leadership. Our jobs include keeping backstage organized,
Running smoothly and preventing accidents from happening on stage. During scene change, I'll start over here. The lights will come down and it'll be completely dark except for some couple like dark blue lights. The scenes will come out and we follow tape, which glows in the dark right here. This is a center line. This set is positioned center, and then there's also a drop up there that we have to center it on, and it goes in between.
Okay, so my job is doing the backdrops. This is the panel we use it on. The backdrops are like the scenery for the show. If you see anything coming down or going back up, that's the backdrops. We hang different stuff on them, like we have the cloth backdrops that are painted over, or we have like the wood structures that are built, and they can come up and down. And the last show, Little Mermaid, we actually flew people. We had Ariel and Prince Eric flying, so that's what I did. They had cables and they would fly around and like up and down and stuff like that. For the last show, most of the drops were like actual cloth drops. There was a few wood pieces like King Triton's Court, which was like number 7, and then Ariel's Grotto, which was like 11. And then they would come down during those scenes and set pieces would be moved out and everything, and it would kind of set the background for everything.
I'm Jenna. I'm the sound manager. I control the people's microphones. Something that's challenging about this job is creating a balance between all of the sounds, especially when they're all singing together and there's a lot of people. You gotta kind of lower them down a bit. It gets really high and there can be a lot of static and stuff like that. There's really time consuming to get people's volumes set up and stuff like that. And that's about it.
And then that last 2 weeks, we are into what we call technical rehearsal, dress rehearsal. And technical rehearsal is where the show is starting to look like it's gonna happen. The lights are in and we are moving, we have our makeup, we're using our microphones, we're trying to really fine tune the production as much as humanly possible, do all of the dressing, all the costumes, and make sure that everything works and that there are no problems that we need to troubleshoot and fix before, you know, we get to opening night. It's really a large process, and so, you know, that rehearsal schedule is super important, and we try to stick to it as much as possible, and you know, pray for good weather in the, you know, on different shows, and just make sure that we, you know, we front load everything as much as possible so we can have time at the end to really fine tune our skills. And then technical rehearsals are all about putting in lights and sets, and there's a whole different band of people who come in at that point and start to really mold the show.
We were, wait, I just gotta think real quick. I gotta
Fathoms
think
below,
about
James.
this.
Fathoms below.
Got it, got it. Okay, so a couple shows ago, I was searching through the boys' costume shop and I found a stuffed mink. And I took that mink under my wing and I named it Minkus. And sadly, a little later, Minkus was kidnapped by Sven Murgot, and he appeared again during The Little Mermaid. But he was tied to the wheel of the ship so that whenever Ben would spin the wheel fast, the Minkus would fly around in the air, unnoticeable by the audience, but very noticeable to myself. So there's that. Donate to his GoFundMe. It's just Save the Minks. You'll see his picture of him.
Yeah, little do you know, we still have Mingus in our house.
For those of you who haven't seen it, Ben and I were the two princes in Into the Woods, and well, this lady came up to me after, well, actually came up to my mom and said, "Oh, your sons were so good. They were so good, especially that fat one, that real heavy set one." And my mom said, "Who?" And she's like, you know, Cinderella's prince, the really heavy set one. The thin one was really, really good, but the fat one. And I was like, huh, thanks.
It's my hobby.
Yeah, so it's a great time. Fringy. How could I have pushed her to the point of having no one left to turn to? What if I have lost her and it's all my fault? She's gone.
That
if only she were here.
that boy.
That was right.
Yes,
You did
that
it. You're so silly. You could have done the whole thing. Ridley Drama is kind of a weird little extracurricular. It gets a limited amount of funds from the district in terms of like they pay for some of our staff to work in, and obviously they're funding this building that we're in, this beautiful building, and our auditorium and all of that stuff. And but the money that we receive from the school district is never going to be enough to do what we want to do, and through no fault of their own. There's just only so much money to go around, and what we end up doing is we end up fundraising almost, everything we need ourselves. And the cool part about that is that it's teaching our kids that they have to be involved in their world. If they want to make something happen, they have to be involved in it to make it happen. But you can support us in lots of ways. You can donate money, but you can also come down and donate time. The time is a great way to support Ridley Drama Group too. You can drop all your stuff from your basement off to us and we'll find a way to use it, those types of things. We support that group. What we're doing is getting kids to feel empathy, to understand other people's points of view, and to be able to speak effectively, to interrelate with each other on a daily basis, to be able to have the confidence, enough confidence to stand up on a stage in front of thousands of people and do what they're doing and be proud of that. That, when you say, why support Ridley Drama, it's because this group is integral in getting kids to a place where they feel all those things. And because that's our focus, the group of kids is our focus, yes, we're trying to put on great theater and we're trying to make awesome shows and we're always trying to top each other. But we're only doing that because we want kids to have an experience that is so life-changing that it brings them together in a way that they would much rather be here with us doing what we do in our family that we built for all of us than anywhere else, especially anywhere in the world that's negative. There's a lot of stuff out there that is, you know, dangerous for kids today, and we don't want them, you know, out there in that dangerous world. We want them here with us in the school. It's a family. Sometimes dysfunctional, sometimes not, you know, but it is a family, and because we all care about each other and we spend so much time together, our relationships grow in different ways. I mean, I have hundreds of children, you know, that are my children, and I also have 2 of my own. And I think our parent group feels like that too, that they're not just the parents of their own children, they're the parents of every child who walks through our door. Our staff feels that they're here to teach, they're here to develop these relationships and to put out in the world these awesome people who are going to change everything, and, you know, through their creativity. And that family environment, man, that's worth its weight in gold, because kids need support at this age and in this time and in our society, and we're here to give them that support. We're not here to make it easy. I'm not here to not challenge them. It's challenging. It's hard work. I'm here to teach that, you know, that the hard work pays off, that the hard work is what gets you to that level of excellence. It's really a special thing. It's a special place, and they're special kids. So that's why we should definitely, you know, think about supporting Ridley Drama, and also support by coming out to see what they do, because they need that audience there, and they need those people there to, you know, tell them that was amazing. That was the best thing I ever saw. It's the best thing I ever saw you do. I've seen you in 3 shows, and this is, you know, by far your best. That's the type of support that you get when you enter into our group. It's unconditional, and you know, it never ends. You stay with us forever in our hearts, and sometimes on our staff. People don't seem to be able to get away. I mean, until you suck them in, they're here forever. But I think that's why we do it, you know. Yes, we're putting on a show. There's a show, and it's going to happen, but at the end of the day, the show is nowhere near as important as the relationships and the family and the group. And that's just what it's all about.